Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Nemesis Gaming League, where the grind continues. We're back for our third match of the night. We're staying down in the Novice League. We've got the number 5 seeded Spitfires going up against the number 8 or number 10 seeded Ignite. It's going to be a really, really good matchup. Spitfires looking for the back-to-back win. Looking to secure their spot in the grand finals so they can get a back-to-back win. And Ignite looking for a perfect playoff run. So far, they've been doing a very, very good job. Your boy Psychonautic in the booth, ready to bring that action straight to you. And I am joined by my boss, my confidant, and my Hispanic friend, merely Big Mur. How you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for including that bit in there. I really appreciate it. But I'm feeling good. Just got off the back of a very entertaining series. Although the Whelps did manage to take it in a convincing 4-0 sweep, it was still some great action on the pitch. Expecting to see some more great action between these two teams, as it really is going to be a battle. Ignite so far made it with a miraculous run, reverse sweeping. At the time, I believe they were the number 1 seed, or okay, they were the number 2 seed in Frost. Reverse sweeping Frost to barely make it into the plans, and since then, throughout the plans, throughout the quarterfinals, have not lost a single game. A very impressive run for them so far, but their biggest challenge is about to be faced here so far, as the Spitfires, tied with the best record heading into the postseason at 12-6, have been hot contenders. Jorbage, known for his postseason runs and known for being able to pop off when it matters most. I think we might have a close series on our hands here, Psycho.
Yeah, I think that we're definitely going to have that for sure. I mean, you pretty much went over it. You know, Jorbage and the Spitfires, you let these guys in the playoffs and they're going to run the show. They're just post-season players. They had a really good regular season run, but they're just gearing up. They're not even in their final form yet. If Ignite allows them the win here and they get to grand finals, I think that the Whelps are going to have a mess of a team to go up against.
Yeah, no matter who comes out of this one on top, Whelps definitely going to be the underdog in that matchup. Even with how well they played today, they're probably going to have to pull out an even higher peak to stand a chance against one of these two teams that have just looked so good, not only during the regular season, but in the postseason as well. But first, we have to determine who will be moving on between these two teams. Get your predictions in, and we will see who is able to get this one. Me personally, I've said it plenty of times, ever since I watched that reverse sweep, I saw the potential in Ignite, and I think they're going to be the ones taking victory in this game. I think they're going to deal with the Spitfires effectively. I'm going to go ahead and predict a 4-2 win for Ignite here.
4-2 win in favor of Ignite. So says Big Mur. And Big Mur's, I believe your predictions a lot, to be honest with you, Mur, just because you're just that guy. You just know what to do. And also, you know, Rockerman predicted that they're going to win too, and Rockerman wrote the script, so, you know, that's probably what's going to happen here. But we're going to get straight into game 1. Spitfires versus Ignite in the semifinals. Winner of this goes on, secures their spot in the grand finals against the Whelps. Loser goes home. It's the end of their season. We'll have to see which will be which. This is a best of 7 series. So the first team to 4 wins is the one to take home the W. Monk getting it out of the Spitfire zone. Monk with a touch off the backboard. Brindy not able to get an accurate shot off of it. Jorbage gonna get a demo on Vita, but Charles to help him out. Monk with the catch in the midfield. Monk out of the corner, can't get it through Rooney. Rooney with the pop. Brindy barely getting a piece of it as he sends it over. Vita gonna try and clear it out, but Jorbage takes it from him. Jorbage with the bump on Rooney. And Brindy is there with the touch. Monk is missing his touch, but this is dangerous for Ignite. Vita gonna send it all the way back to the Spitfire zone, and merely this is so far, even though we're sitting at 0-0, seemingly an onslaught from the Spitfires so far.
And they have seemed to have the majority of the pressure here. Ignite dealing with it well so far, but this is really the game plan if you are the Spitfires. I definitely think there is a pretty significant mechanical advantage for Ignite, especially with Rooney on the pitch. I mean, we've seen this guy literally hitting musty double taps in Novice, something I thought I would never live to see the day. But when they're pressed back into defense, they can be prone to crumble. As Rooney here going to get a touch. Charles can't follow it up, though. Spitfires managed to stay alive for now. And this offense is going to be crucial for the Ignite roster. Like I was just talking about, they're going to have to show their pop-off potential here, if nowhere else, in order to be able to take this series.
And neither of these teams looking very accurate at this point. Only 3 shots from either side of the field, none of which have really warranted a save. I mean, there has been 2 saves on Ignite, but I've also seen quite a few dropped opportunities from the Spitfires. Both of these teams looking to dial in their accuracy a little bit. Might be some stream nerves, but Vita starting us off halfway through match number 1.
And Ignite managed to find their accuracy first. LNR Vita with the shooting. He's been very accurate in this postseason, a crucial part of this roster. Coming through here in game 1, giving the first advantage to Ignite.
And will the Spitfires clap back, or Rooney with another shot's gonna hit the post? Charles not able to beat out the defender. Monk to send that one down. Vita gets a hold of it. Charles trying to get a touch. He does off the sidewall, but he's not able to follow it. Excuse me. And Brindy with the pop. Vita trying to take it off the top of him, but Monk to send that one back. Rooney back in time to make the stop, but not able to get control of the ball. Jorbich trying to push it through. Charles to make that save. 2 minutes left on the clock as Ignite, excuse me, I've got the burps, but Ignite still holding the lead here. Saw a double commit come out from Ignite just there, but Spitfire's not able to capitalize on it. Is Charles going to make a save and get his, oh my, get his savior medal, but Rooney just had an open net to shoot at.
That's a critical mistake there from Brindy, not able to make the touch. No one back on defense. The overcommit as third man will not pay off for them. And you have to feel like this game 1 is so important for Spitfires. Going down, not going to be a good sign as, I mean, Ignite. When you're dealing with a team that swept their entire way through the postseason, they're going to be feeling pretty confident in every single matchup they go up against. You really want to try and nip that confidence in the bud if you're Spitfires. You don't want to keep that momentum going for them that they've been able to generate. Right now, Ignite definitely having the advantage in that department. Although Spitfires are calling for a server reset, maybe a little bit of lag coming out here. But either way, I mean, they haven't really been able to find much, and on the other side of things, Ignite just been that much more clinical.
Yeah, it did look like, I thought I saw for a second that Jorbage's ping was spiking. It seems to have stabilized now, but I can understand him wanting to just go ahead and get the server reset to try and avoid that type of situation. However, if they are not able to shut down Ignite's defense, I'm not sure how much a server reset is going to do for them. We will have to see. 45 seconds left on the clock. Still time for Spitfires to make a comeback in game number 1, though they're down by 1, or excuse me, down by 2. They do have to make a conversion here pretty quick, but Vita's going to go ahead and do it for them. And now Ignite up by 3 with 32 seconds left. And do we lose Big Mur? And I think we might have lost Big Mur. Hello.
Okay,
welcome
apologies.
back.
I might have accidentally macroed my mic to mute. But we will be seeing, as I was saying before, have to regain my train of thought. But it seems the speed advantage is clear. Rooney coming through, whether there's ping issues or not. I mean, Spitfires are getting outplayed here. Hopefully the server reset can do something for them, but it looks like Ignite have this game 1 in the bag.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much impossible for them to come back at this point, or I shouldn't say impossible, just highly improbable that Spitfires are able to regain here in game number 1. You gotta figure they don't want to try and get one for the road, try and build a little momentum moving into game number 2, but mainly they just need to get this game behind them so they can reset their mental and see what they can do in game number 2, Big Murph.
And that will be a crucial point for them. Like I already talked about, you don't want to let them keep building this confidence. 4-0 in game 1, commanding lead. For Spitfire's sake, you hope that it was the ping that was the difference in this one. But with a 4-goal advantage and nothing to show when you really weren't able to hit any of the shots when it mattered, still coming out with some almost equal shots around the board for Spitfires. They just weren't able to put any through. And Ignite, I mean, just solid control of this game one here.
Solid control indeed. And Ignite are all readied up to go. They're not even trying to take a slight break, but they are, unfortunately for them, going to have to, as we're just going to reset this server real quick, ladies and gentlemen. Won't take more than a couple of seconds to get things back going. But wow, merely that was, I'm not even sure. I hope for the Spitfire's sake that there was some nerves involved, that the ping issue that they were having sort of threw them off. Because moving into game number 2, I mean, even with a short break like this, I think Ignite is still going to be on fire. All pun intended.
And it has looked that way, but you know, we have seen blowouts before in early games where teams manage to consolidate, they manage to come back. And really for Spitfires, you just have to, I mean, I hate to say they just have to hit their shots, but really a lot of it comes down to just that. They had some clear opportunities at net, but weren't able to finish on any. Ignite, while their offense is amazing and they clearly have good mechanics, good speed, they are very, very prone to misusing that speed. As I've said before, with great power comes great responsibility, and sometimes even when you have the mechanical edge, the speed edge, if you don't use it wisely, it can come back to bite you. And if Ignite keep leaving holes where they're double committing, they're giving Spitfires clear counterattack opportunities, then Spitfires are not even close to out of this one. And they could very easily bring it back.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head when you said that the Spitfires just need to dial in their accuracy. They need to hit their shots. If they were hitting their shots throughout that game, it would have been a very different game. I think it would have easily been a 3 or 4, a 4-4 overtime, something like that. But Spitfires just weren't accurate. So hopefully they're able to dial that in here in game number 2. Hopefully they're able to give Ignite a run for their money, because, I mean, they're going Rooney. I don't know, Big Mur. I don't want to put this out there, but I feel like he might be one of the best shooters in Novice right now.
I definitely don't think it's a stretch to say he has the best mechanics in Novice, but after witnessing Mr. Marino in the last game, I don't know if it's necessarily fair to give him the title of best shooter, with the Whelps giving the performance that they did, specifically Mr. Marino. However, we will have a disconnect here as Paranoid Monk has lost connection. Spitfires need to call for a disconnect here. Okay, he does say pause. I think that will be enough to get the disconnect rolling, as I don't think it was actually Jorbage struggling with the server issues now. It seems like Paranoid Monk was the one who was having the issues.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess what I saw, sometimes whenever you like immediately join up into a lobby, sometimes your ping will spike for just a second before it stabilizes, and that must have been what I seen. I don't remember seeing any ping issues with Paranoid Monk, though. He did have the highest ping on the field. He was running at about 100 the entire time, and everybody else was down 80 and below. So perhaps that's what was going on with him.
Yeah, it seems like I did notice he was at 100 ping as well. I wasn't sure if that was normal for him. I know for some of our players, all the way on the west side, I get upwards of 80, 90 ping sometimes, and you just kind of have to live with it. At a certain point, you kind of learn how to play. Nothing compared to these Middle Eastern teams who have been playing on 150 ping and still popping off. But it seems like the numbers sometimes lie. Sometimes that 100 ping can really be a game changer when you just can't tell what's going on. The 50s aren't going through. You have split second delays, and it can make a big difference. Unfortunate that we will have such a large pause. Spitfire is kind of getting a free time out here, not one that I'm sure they wanted, as it is due to connection issues. But they will have a bit of time to consolidate, try and figure out their game plan moving forward. No goals scored in game two in the short period we were there, so still left to see what will remain of the rest of the series.
Yeah, we're going to get a complete reset on that. And it looks like Paranoid Monk is back in the lobby. At least all of Spitfires is. I'm not sure if Ignite has made it back in. Nope, there we go. Rooney just joined, and I'm sure his team will be soon to follow. And looks like Jorbage is giving the thumbs up. He's saying, not sure what happened, but we're good now. So, excuse me, I got burps, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize, but we are back into it. Game number 2, Ignite versus Spitfires. Ignite up by 1 in the series. This is a best of 7 in case you're just now joining us. First team to 4 wins takes the W, secures their spot in the grand finals against the Whelps. And Paranoid Monk with the shot immediately, but it bounces off of the crossbar. Charles to send that one out of Ignite zone. Rooney staying back, gets it in the corner. Rooney gets it past 2 and clears it past the midline. But Paranoid Monk gets control and is given space by Ignite. Paranoid Monk still controlling it in the midfield, but Charles to take it away from him. Charles pops it out. Jorbage is there, sending it down. Vita in the net, making the stop. Vita again getting in front of Brindy as Brindy tries to plow it through. Charles having to make a stop against Jorbage. The ball's out. Rooney missing the shot. Another Novice player missing the shot, but Brindy goes up, gets the touch, but can't find the angle he needs. Vita 50s in the mid, and it works out in his favor. And then 2 fakes coming out, or at least 1 fake coming out, and the Ignite backup player not able to clean things up there merely.
And a little bit of panicky play here early on. We saw already there was that situation on defense that we've talked about from Ignite. Here it is once again. They're so awkward on defense when they get on the back line. Sometimes they can just start to crumble, but Spitfire is just not doing enough to take advantage of it. They literally just have to shoot the ball on target in most of these positions with a little bit of power. And they would be getting free goals, but they still remain scoreless no matter what they try. On the other side of things, Ignite had that one clear opportunity. You know, the Novice fakes will never stop, no matter how hard you push into the league. But both teams remaining equal for now.
Yeah, it's very true. Novice is well known for their tactical whiffs, as we like to call them merely. We don't like to call them fakes. Actually, I'm sure some of them do like to call them fakes, but tactical whiff, fake, whatever you call it, it doesn't matter. Brindy gonna start things off in game number 2. And now the Spitfires have the lead.
And there it is. The mistakes on defense are continuing to come out from Ignite. Finally, the Spitfires are able to put one home, getting their first goal of the series. That's a good sign of life. They just need to keep trying to pile on this offense, because you have to feel like a 1-goal advantage against Ignite is really not that much of an advantage at all.
Nah, yeah, especially not against Ignite. However, Spitfires are pretty solid, so I think now that they have the momentum in their favor, they can play a little bit different game. They don't have to be on their heels or their toes, if you will, the entirety of the time. They can sort of breathe a little bit. I'm sure they feel a weight lifted off of their shoulders as we move into the second half of game number 2. And they do still have the lead. It's only a 1-point lead, so it's nothing crazy, especially against Ignite. Rooney back, Brindy trying to get a solo play. Rooney going to take it away from him. Jorbage is up. He gets the touch, sending it to the side. Brindy's there. Going to 50 with Charles goes. And in favor of Ignite, Charles not able to get it through. Monk on the goal line. Vita sticking with it in the Ignite zone. Up to Rooney. Rooney trying to get there. Brindy to bounce it around him. Charles missing his touch. Vita, it looked like a little bit of a double commit came out there. Possible communication error, Big Mer, but hey, it didn't work out against them.
And I'm not exactly sure what's happening here. Ignite just doesn't look like the same team as what a save from Rooney, man, just to get back. But we are seeing a ridiculous amount of team bumps. I mean, I haven't been counting, but I think it's in the double digits now. Ignite has ran into each other, I mean, more times than I could even probably count and keep track of. On the defense, on the offense, they are not communicating nearly as effectively as they were in game 1, nearly as effectively as they have been this entire postseason. And right now, they really need a goal. Is not doing any favors to them. Spitfires, I mean, they're holding on to this advantage, but really it's more so due to Spitfire or Ignite stepping on each other's toes than Spitfires really playing good defense.
Yeah, I would agree with that. You know, we've seen a couple of double commits so far. In game number 1, we saw the triple commit come out, as well as a couple other double commits for Ignite. However, they were able to get away with it. They're not getting away with it this time. Jorbage going to come in and score the second goal for Spitfires. They now have a 2-point lead with 40 seconds left on the clock.
Jorbage left with an open net there. It was a good attempt by Rooney to get back. He had to use up all his boosts for that, but not enough defenders left in the net. Spitfires will go up 2. Now with 40 seconds left, and unless Ignite can reignite their offense that they've had previously, it's going to be a tough road for them in this game, and it looks like Spitfires might be equalizing the series.
It does definitely look that way. 30 seconds remain for Ignite to get 2 goals off the Spitfires. Almost the first one coming out there. Great pass. Rooney just not able to get to the ball in time. Vita off the back wall. Another double commit from Ignite. Rooney's there. Sends it up the sidewall. Rooney going to try and get a little bit mechanical here for the final play. Vita up to find the pass, but nothing going to come from it. The ball looking to touch the ground. Charles to keep it up, but at this point it won't matter even if Ignite is able to score, as they need 2 goals. It's going to touch down. Spitfire is going to be your winners in game number 2, and they're going to equalize the series.
Nice. That's a nice win for Spitfires there. They managed to get the goal advantage and just hold on to it. But once again, it really feels like that was more so on Ignite's end of things. Spitfires played their game, and they played well when they had to, but still allowing a lot of opportunities. Even though Ignite only had 2 shots, I mean, with the amount of pressure they had, you really feel like they should have had at least a few goals. Not able to get anything generated in this game. They will trade clean games. Not a complete blowout for the Spitfires there, but still, now it seems like it is on Ignite to try and rekindle this spark that they've had.
Yeah, nice. Ignite's going to need to do something. They're going to, if you're on Ignite, you don't want to let, Jorbage and his Spitfires start to gain too much momentum. As I'm sure all the teams saw during the regular season, Spitfires came out with a 12-6. It's a really good record. And then, they're known to perform in the playoffs. So you don't want to allow this team to get ahead. Brendy going to do just that as he fakes out 2 defenders with a banger of a dribble.
And all of a sudden, Spitfires gaining the momentum, getting another first goal here in game number 3. They're starting to get the advantage, and they surely will not want to let go of it. Like you said, they were maybe just warming up in game number 1, finding their way back into this one, and trying to push for an advantage. But there's still plenty of time. Ignite just have to stop. These double commits have to stop bumping each other. And they, at the same time, have to get their offense together and try to hit these shots.
Yeah, this is definitely a different Ignite than what we've seen so far in the postseason. Vita almost able to find that double tap. That's going to go past Brendy with the touch. A little bit awkward. He gets it down. He's trying to stick with it. Gets it past Charles in the corner, but Rooney helping the defense out. Charles with a big 50 in the midfield. Goes in favor of Ignite. Brendy taking his time. Dribbles it out of the corner and gets it clear. The ball does get immediately sent back to the Spitfire zone. Charles there looking to start a play. Jorbage going to clear that all the way across to the other side of the field. Brendy touchdown to Monk in the midfield. Rooney goes for it. Vita's with it. He gets the catch. He gets the pop. This could be something. Rooney's up, and a triple commit coming out from Ignite, looking like it's probably going to be an easy conversion. Yes, Monk is going to walk that into the back of the net.
And I'm not really sure what's happening. I mean, Ignite already starting to get desperate in game 3 here. The series is still tied, but they're acting as though they are down so bad that they need goals no matter what. Definitely looks like some frustration coming out from Ignite's side of things as the triple commit where no player was even close to putting that ball into the back of the net. I mean, it was really just not a play that was going to result in anything. You have to be wary. Spitfires are not a team that you can allow open nets. They will counterattack, and they will convert on every opportunity that they are given in this manner. It's still Ignite trying to break through, but so far it's been over a game now, and they still have yet to find the back of Spitfire's net once again.
Yeah, not only that, but out of the 3 games that have been played so far, 2 of them they have triple committed in. And I don't think game 1 they were punished for the triple commit, but it did come out, and we see that those bad habits as a team will follow you throughout an entire series, and they will haunt you. And as you said, merely the Spitfires is not the team that you want to jack around with, especially not in the postseason.
Absolutely not. I mean, the Spitfires, we've already seen they're deadly when you give them these possessions, and when you're making as many mistakes on defense, they're going to capitalize. Credit to them. They haven't really missed yet, as Ignite's still trying to get something going. No boost for LNR Vita here. And Ignite, try as they might, just can't find their way. Every touch seems to be inaccurate, as previously in the series, at least in game one, almost every touch was at least a shot on net or something threatening. All of these touches just seem to be doing absolutely nothing, and Spitfire's defense as well is stepping up to the task of not giving those free shots anymore.
And that's really good on their part, honestly, because Ignite is, even though they are not playing as well as they have been playing this entire playoff run, we all know that they're capable. And if Spitfires just start to let off defensively, even for a moment, Ignite, I think, will take advantage of that and start to gain some of that offensive pressure or momentum, if you will, back. And that could be very, very dangerous for the Spitfires. But as it is, Spitfires are controlling the pace. Jorbage getting one past, and oh my goodness, Jorbage gonna walk that one in as Brindy clears the road ahead.
And Brindy getting not one bump. Well, he threatened the bump on Rooney, forcing him to jump early, and then getting the bump on the last defender. A beautiful play to just clear the net for Jorbage, leaving it completely wide open. And Spitfires, still no answer to their scoring. They are running away with this game 3.
They certainly are, but Levita is not done yet, boy. He comes in. What a double tap from him with 1 minute and 9 seconds left on the clock. Will it be enough for Ignite to make a comeback?
You know, if there's any team that could do it, it would have to be Ignite. We know they have this offensive power. It's been invisible for the last game and a half, but they are still contentious. They can still put in these goals on demand. They just need a few more opportunities, and this game could be salvageable, but they're going to have to work overtime.
And they're going to need I think they're going to need a goal very quickly, as we are in the final 60 seconds. They're still down by 2. They do not want to be down by 2. They need a goal fast, so that way they can get back to the kickoff. They can try and reestablish the pressure. But if Spitfires does not allow that to happen, Ignite is in danger of dropping game number 3 and losing the lead in the series. The Spitfires will go up 2-1, moving into game number 4. The final 30 seconds here. Charles with the shot's gonna go in, gets it above the defender. That's exactly what Ignite needs right now.
And it's not over quite yet. Is Charles stepping up here with a huge shot, perfectly placed to the top shelf. 21 seconds, still doable, but Ignite has to get this one quick, has to try and show out and throw all hands on deck for offense.
All hands on deck indeed. 15 seconds left. Can Ignite make this final push, or Spitfire's going to shut things down and take the series lead moving into game number 4? And it's looking like it might be just that. Vita can't beat Monk to the ball. Rooney pops it, and the double commit from Ignite is going to cause Spitfires to take game number 3 and the lead.
And once again there, it's the constant miscommunication from Ignite, even on 0 seconds. I mean, their odds of scoring that ball is not very high, but Rooney, I'm pretty sure his teammate, I couldn't tell if that was Charles or LNR Vita there, definitely looked like they had a touch towards the net, but Rooney just trying to go too fast, gets a clear on the other side, clearing the ball for Spitfires and securing that they won't be getting a 0 second. Really, the theme of the game so far has just been Ignite not communicating, bumping into each other, double committing, leaving awkward spacing, and really, it seems like Ignite is just defeating themselves. I mean, once again, to their credit, Spitfires are playing solidly. They're taking advantage of these openings, but they're openings that really shouldn't be there at all for Ignite's side of things.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I think Ignite's sort of outplaying themselves. Because if you look at Spitfires, as I'm watching Spitfires, there's not an ounce of panic in them. They're not trying to rush to the ball. They're just taking their time. Every time they get control, they take their time. They want to get control and keep control of the ball. You can tell that they're here to play fundamental Rocket League, but Ignite is much more flashy than that. You know, we've seen the musty double tap come out from Rooney. We saw double tap come out from Vita earlier, and maybe Ignite's just doing too much at this point, merely.
Yeah, you know, they do have those flashy mechanics. We've seen them from Rooney. It worked against the Pawns. He was able to get space, but the defense from Spitfires hasn't been allowing these long setups. They've been challenging balls much more quickly than the Pawns were. What I really want to see from Ignite is, just like you said, less flashy mechanics and more just straight shots, because it hasn't been just mechanics that have gone them to this point, if we're being honest. Eleanor Vita, someone that I've looked to be a clinical shooter on Ignite's side of things. I mean, every player of the roster can shoot this ball quite well, but he's one in specific that has been really good at hitting backboard reads or just basic shots, even the occasional double tap. Those are fine to go for, and I mean, right now it just seems like they can't even pull off those simple shots. They're not connecting on them when they need to, and when they can't score, they get a little bit panicky. They get touchy on defense, and Spitfires able to take advantage of that.
Yeah, we'll see here in game number 4 if Ignite's able to slow things down a little bit, able to get a handle on their gameplay, or if Spitfires is going to take their 3rd game in a row in the series and set themselves up for match point moving into game number 5. Rooney trying to get it cleared out. Brendy not going to let him. Jorbage off the backboard. Monk gets the shot but can't get it through the defenders. Vita trying to take control. Brendy going to beat him to it. Rooney going to miss that touch as Charles to help him out. But Monk not going to let Ignite get the ball cleared out of their zone. And Brendy puts the touch down. Brendy to try and follow. No, Brendy leaving the ball, looking for a bump. Not able to get a bump, and Jorba's not able to get a shot. Rooney going to come in from behind one of his players and sneak one through.
Ignite finding their first lead since game 1 is Charles getting the ball middle, and Paranoid Monk there just a little bit off target with the 50, not recognizing where the shot could go. Good placement by Rooney to get underneath the defender, and that's what we need to see from Ignite. Keeping up that pressure. They dealt well with the pressure that Spitfires had for almost the entire first half of the game, or able to turn it into a counterattack where they came out with the better end.
And I think that's what Ignite, both of these teams being quote-unquote fire-related, starting to throw me off a little bit. But I think that is exactly what Ignite needed. They needed that first goal. They needed that extra momentum, and the pass plays come out now. Ignite fully ready to go.
And Jorbage just a little too awkward on the goal line, can barely get a touch. Is Charles barreling through with the challenge. Ignite up 2-0 now. And when they've had the lead, well, actually the team that has scored first has secured the victory in every game so far. Let's see if Ignite can keep up that trend.
Yeah, that's true. And not only that, but both of these teams have a blowout win. I think it was game number 3 for the Spitfires where they went like 3 or 4-0, and then Ignite in game number 1 getting the 4-0 on Spitfires. So both of these teams, when it boils down to it, might be a lot more equal than it seems on the surface. But as it stands, with under 2 minutes left on the clock, Ignite is leading game number 4 by 2 points. Jorbage trying to get a pot shot, not able to get it on the net accurately. Bounces off the post. Rooney with the clear out of the Ignite zone. Brendy popping it up, putting it back over the midline. Vita gonna follow it up the sidewall. Vita trying to come off, not able to follow the ball. Trying to get the bump on Monk, can't find it. And Charles trying to find a pass to the center, but the Spitfires defense gonna shut things down. Monk gonna get 50'd by Charles. Ignite keeping the pressure, putting it on hot and heavy right now. But Jorbage gonna finally get that ball cleared out of the Spitfires, and now Spitfires looking to mount some offensive pressure here merely in the final 60 seconds.
And we're seeing a kind of a switch back to game 1 as this ball's just going to soar into the net. No read for the defenders there, as Spitfires had a wide open opportunity there. They could have been within 1, but Brendy just absolutely, I mean, just whiffs the shot, sending it completely clear. I think he might have been expecting the defender to hit the ball there, but now down 0-3. They've made their job that much more difficult, and Ignite looked like they might be tying up the series here.
And not only that, but I mean, if they're able to win this game, which I'm pretty sure they're going to at this point, they've had both of their wins have been kind of blowouts. So moving into game number 5, we're gonna have essentially. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but looking like we're gonna have a tied series moving into game number 5. And I think, as good as the Spitfires looked in game 2 and game 3, merely, if they're not careful, Ignite's going to come from behind and take game number 5, get that momentum, and might even shut the Spitfires out of the rest of their playoff run.
I think that's definitely a potential if Spitfires can't get a handle on this Ignite offense. But it has been a very back and forth series so far. I don't expect this one to go without further antics, especially as we are going to have a guaranteed game 6 on our hands. Forbidden Temple never disappoints, as Ignite will take this one in comfortable fashion. Up 3-0, another blowout for them, and well played to fight back. They looked much more patient this time, albeit still with plenty of double commits, but not a gajillion team bumps. So that's a great sign coming out from Ignite, able to clean up the defense where necessary and put those shots on target, get the goals when they needed them.
That's true. And I don't know about you, merely, but I love to see whenever a team is able to sort of identify what their problem is during a series and rectify that problem and make it go away, essentially. Not that they're not double commit, not that they're not making mistakes and stuff like that, but I didn't see a triple commit come out that game. I don't even recall seeing a double commit come out from Ignite during game number 4. So I mean, it's just really good, in my opinion, to see a team that can adapt, as opposed to a team that just, well, this isn't working for us, but we don't know what else to do, so we're just going to barrel through and hope we get lucky. Like Charles just got lucky on that shot all the way from downtown. Nobody from Spitfires back.
And a little bit of luck, but a lot bit of accuracy. To be fair, the defense not ready for the absolute heater that Charles was sending on net. Already with another quick advantage, and Spitfires really have to try to shut this one down. They can't let Ignite regain their confidence yet again, as they already clearly have. They can't let them run away with this game as well, as this one's going to go off the backboard. Another free shot. Rooney won't be able to get on target, and Spitfires keeping their disadvantage to only 1 goal for now. They feel like they have to fight back soon, or else the series might be getting away from them.
Yeah, it could, and we know Ignite will definitely run away with a game, as both of their wins so far tonight have been just that. They got a little bit of pressure, got a goal, and then started to run away with things. And will they be able to do the same thing here in game number 4? Spitfires at least held Ignite's offense through half of the game before they got their first goal, and it didn't even take 30 seconds for them to get their first goal here in game number 5. Will the Spitfires be able to regain, or will Ignite begin to run away with this, as Vita's going to send it all the way across Charles to pop it up? The ball floats in the Spitfires territory. Charles with the demo on Jorbage, but nothing's going to come from it. Oh, just kidding. Charles with another banger from his side of the field.
And there it is again. The defense just not ready for the shooting. Ignite just has to put shots on target. I mean, I don't want to say that's the only thing, but other than their lack of defense in games 2 and 3, the only thing they weren't doing was putting shots on net. Now that they have, Spitfires not able to deal with them, and now they're in trouble.
Honestly, it seems to me, merely, at least in game number 5, if Ignite just shoots from their side of the field, it's like Spitfires can't do anything. Once they take it down to Spitfire's zone and they get in Spitfire's box, those guys, they lock things down. They're just so good defensively. But if they just, put a long ball from their own side, it's like Spitfires don't expect that to go, so they're not even ready for it.
And oh, that was a close one there. Almost a pinch into the back of the net once again, and I have to agree. Spitfires, when they are on defense, look good. As Rooney with a miraculous double touch. I do not think that was intentional, but it was nonetheless spectacular as he puts a third one into the back of the net for Ignite.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you. Even though it was Rooney, that didn't quite look intentional. But if there is one novice player we can give that credit to, it would be Rooney, as we know he can hit things like that. But it looked like
Mhm.
there was a little bit of a bump from the Spitfires defender, which might have helped him out there merely.
And, a little bit of luck there, but you know what they say, fortune favors the courageous. And that's not the first time we've actually seen Rooney get a bit of a fortunate double touch off of a bump. I don't know how many of you guys remember. I know I certainly won't forget the double touch he was able to score off of a midfield bump into, or 50 into bump into redirect off of the sidewall. Honestly, one of the craziest goals that I've ever seen at any level in the Nemesis action. Um, so, you go for enough of these shots, you're going to have a higher percentage chance than most. I know my teammate Jaegers can attest to that, as I've never seen someone get so many ridiculous dunks from off the ceiling on unsuspecting defenders. But right now, Ignite just seems to have found their stride once again, taking control in this game 5 and looking to go up to match point.
Yeah, not only that, but also what they say is that you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take, and Rooney is not known for not at least attempting to take the shot, and it does play out for him quite well, as it has been playing out for him so far in this playoff run. And we'll have to see if he's able to continue it, or if the Spitfires can start to make a comeback here in game number 5. They are down by 3 with a minute and 17 seconds left on the clock, so it's not looking real good for him. Charles trying to get a shot on net. He gets it, but Paranoid Monk back in time makes a deal with the post to help get that ball out of the Spitfires goal. And Vita with the shot off of the sidewall, but it's going to be a little bit high. Vita taking control, gets the pop in the midfield, but George is going to beat him out. Charles with the touch in the Ignite zone. Rooney with a big fake, but can't get it past Brindy. Brindy staying strong in his defensive zone, helping his team get the ball back out of the Spitfires territory. Jorba is going to get flicked there. Brindy's up. His shot is not going to be on target. As Rooney trying to push this out. The final 30 seconds now tick down. Spitfires down by 3 points. Game number 5. Spitfires in danger. Oh my goodness. A huge pass from Charles off the back wall. Going to turn into a conversion.
And I think the dagger was already there, but Ignite plunge it deeper with a nice passing play from the backboard to the midfield. Just absolutely ready for it. They are back on form and they are back to their shooting ways. Going to most definitely take this game number 5 here. And going up on match point, if you're Spitfires, you really do have to go back to the drawing board, have to look at what's going wrong and try to recreate that magic that they had in games 2 and 3.
Yeah, they have to, because if they don't, Ignite is about to walk away with this in a game 6 win. Ignite just taking the win in game number 5. They now have 3 wins. They're sitting at match point in the semifinals. They're looking to shut the Spitfires down, send them home, and secure their spot against the Whelps on Saturday.
And it's looking good for Ignite. Spitfires doesn't look like they're going to opt to take their time out. I don't know if they realize that they have one. I'm always concerned. I feel like we should make a PSA for every team, since I think some teams just don't realize that they have a timeout. And I'm not seeing one come through here. Paranoid Monk still not readying up. If they're trying to take the full 60 seconds to talk, they should know that they do have a timeout in reserve as well. If they choose not to take it here, they might regret it with the form that Ignite has been showing in the last couple games. And Ignite's game plan is simple. Just keep doing what you're doing. Keep hitting those shots, trying to not double commit as much as possible. Spitfires, on the other hand, Ignite have still had double commits. Ignite have still had sketchy plays. Spitfires have had openings for opportunities to score. They just have to be more clinical. They have to get those shots on net. They have to make sure that they're also ready for these shots that are coming from Ignite's half. They're just getting caught out in awkward positions, unable to make saves back. If they could deal with some of these, I mean, it's definitely going to be at least a closer game.
Yeah, that's very true. We'll have to see if they're able to do just that, or if Ignite shuts things down right here, right now. Game number 6 in the Forbidden Temple. Spitfires need this win to stay alive and force the game 7. Jorbage with an awkward touch is not able to clear it out of the Spitfire zone. Paranoid Monk off the backboard messes up his recovery and is not able to stick with the ball. And Rooney off the backboard. Charles is there. He gets the shot, gets it past Brindy, and starting things off for the Ignite. Not looking good for Spitfires.
They continue right where they left off. Charles with a fast backboard read. Brindy, an unfortunate backflip on the goal line. Not what you want to see if you're a Spitfires fan, as Ignite taking another lead early on. And every time they've been in this position so far, they have not given up the advantage. They've managed to hold on to this lead and even build on it. If you're Spitfires, you really have to stop this bleeding before it gets a lot worse.
Yeah, they need to staunch it now. They need a medic on the field. But will they be able to get it? Will one of the Spitfires players step things up to the next level and at least equalize the score? With only a minute gone so far, Ignite up by 1. But that's not looking good for the Spitfires, especially if history repeats itself as game number 5 was pretty much the same thing for Ignite. They were able to score within the first 30 seconds, and then they just began to run away with the game. So will they do the same here, or will Spitfires turn things around? And I was gonna point out, merely you said that maybe we should make a PSA to let some of these teams know that they have a tactical timeout that they can use during this series. Charles trying to get a shot on that, but not going to work out for him. But merely, it is in the contract that we all sign that you have read the rule book and understand the rules. So there's no excuse for any team not to know that they don't have a timeout.
This is very true. Of course, the rule book does add this, but on the other hand, you know, the timeout is a newer addition. We haven't always had timeouts in playoffs. Some players may think that they know the rule book but haven't followed up on the update. This is why it is so important to also be alerted to the rules updates in the server so that you can stay on top of it and know your rights. Can't forget those Nemesis rights you have. With that said, Spitfires, I think, maybe going to regret not taking that timeout now if they did know it was available, as their defense, which has looked pretty good when they're stuck in their half, being able to get clears, being able to stay coordinated, has looked a little bit shaky in this game 6 here, and this is when they need it more than ever. But even more so than that, they need this offense. They need to find some goal-scoring power, because right now they're just not getting any looks.
Yeah, they need it, and we're in the second half of game number 6 with Ignite sitting at match point and Spitfires down by 1 in this game. They have to do something, and even though there's 2 minutes left on the clock, I think that they need to do it quick, or Ignite is just going to continue to control the pace. They're going to shut things down. It's Charles coming off the sidewall. Charles looking for another touch, gets the bump, gets 2 bumps, clearing the path for Rudy, sending that one home.
And Charles does not want to go to game 7. Look at that clear out of the net, taking out both defenders. A completely free shot for Rooney. Ignite going up 2-0 now, and they are steadily taking the advantage. Things are looking grim for Spitfires. They need to find goals quick, but they haven't had the goal-scoring offense. They haven't had quick goals in succession. The games where they did manage to win, they had to grind out each and every one with continued pressure. Still, if they can get one fast, it might just be doable.
It is definitely doable, especially with these Spitfire boys. I know once they got the fire lit underneath them, they're not going to let it go so easily. They just need that spark of life. The double commit coming out from Spitfires. The desperation is starting to set into these guys as the final 60 seconds begin to wind down. Spitfires still down by 2, and they are in danger of going home, their season ending, and losing a chance at the back-to-back championship. Will they be able to do it? Jorbage going to start things off, trying to get a play going. Jorbage taking a shot that's going to go wide. He gets it past the defender, but can't get it on net. And Monk catching things, popping it up, but Rooney was patient and stayed with it. Charles going to get dunked on. It looks like Vita is just sitting still. I'm not sure if anything has happened there, but we are in the final 30 seconds. He did lose connection there, but with so much time from this game gone
Wait.
so far, I don't know if there's anything that can be done. That almost went in, but it bounced off of the post. This is just bad luck for the Spitfires at this point, merely.
And there was a disconnect coming through. Eleanor Vita loses connection, but Ignite doesn't even care. They're so confident even in the 2v3. They don't care enough to call it a disconnect. They're just going to win it with 2 players on the field. Ignite taking this one, not to toot my own horn, but in 4-2 fashion, a convincing win, and Spitfires going home, not going to get the back-to-back chip for Jorbage. Ignite, the lowest seed ever to reach grand finals, and they do it against one of the best teams in Novice.
Yeah, toot your horn, merely toot away, because that was a fantastic prediction. I gotta say, 4-2. Dude, that's just one of the most random predictions to throw out there, in my opinion, anyways. That it's just going to end in Game 6. Typically, I would assume if it's either going to end in Game 5 or it's going to go to Game 7. But hey, you called it there, bud.
What can I say? I do my research. And clearly Ignite did their research well enough to beat the Spitfires. I mean, other than the 2 suspect games, they never really looked like they were in that much trouble in the games where they were able to take advantage. This one in Game 6, not necessarily a blowout, but definitely one where they maintained their advantage the whole way through, and at the end of the day got the dub, made it to the grand finals, and looking to prove a lot of people wrong and take it to this Whelps roster, which also looked phenomenal earlier today.
Yeah, it certainly did. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We are done with the Novice League. Everything up to the grand finals Saturday. We're gonna have the grand finals, the Whelps versus Ignite. It's gonna be a really good match, I think, merely. I mean, last season, grand final Spitfires versus Frost, that was such a spectacular series. But I think that this one is gonna be able to hold a flame to it.
I definitely think it will. I mean, with both teams looking as well as they have, I expect a close series, a very probably a very high scoring series if I had to guess. With both of these teams being very offensively minded, it might just come down to who wins the shootout. But either way, we will almost definitely have a spectacle on our hands, and I cannot wait to catch that on Saturday.
Most certainly. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to wrap us up for this game. Don't worry, though, we got 2 more games slated for you tonight. We're going to take a short break here before we get back into it. But when we do come back, the 2 matches that we have left for you are both in the Prospect League. Starting things off, we've got the #1 seed Melons going up against the, I don't want to say undefeated, but since they made their roster change, the undefeated #4 Gladiators. I think merely that that is going to be one of the hottest matches in Prospect League this season.
Yeah, that surely should be a good one. Both of these teams, big contenders, and you definitely won't want to miss it.
No, you certainly won't. Merely, I want to thank you, sir, for joining me here in the booth. It's always a pleasure, my dude, to cast
Always.
alongside you. And ladies and
Always a
gentlemen,
pleasure.
oh, I'm sorry. My apologies. But ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us. We got 2 more matches along the way. We're going to take a short break before we get back into it. We'll see you in a few.
See ya.